Well, have you ever had trouble kicking off your weight loss journey? It can be daunting and overwhelming, especially if you've had failures in the past.
It takes determination and a huge amount of persistence, but it doesn't have to be as scary as you think.
Well, to take us through some tips on how to make it a little easier, we are joined now by 9 Honey's Shelly Horton. Good morning to you, Shelly.
Good morning. Bit of a change of pace.
Yeah,
let's do it.
From North Korea to weight loss.
Yes.
You know.
Well, they were jogging beside the car, you know.
That's right,
There's the segue.
If ever you needed one. I mean, this is pretty personal for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Look, the thing is, I have been doing super fast diet for a year now, and super fast is all about intermittent fasting. So I have 2 days a week where I have 500 calories, and then the other days of the week I can have some chocolate and some wine, which I really love. So what I would say to other people is find what suits you.
Yeah.
For me, 7 days a week of being really restrictive just doesn't work. But for some people, if they live alone and they don't like to cook, have a meal service that's delivered to you. So
Yeah.
I've lost 13 kilos through Superfast Diet, and I've kept it off for a year.
They
so
can
I'm
be
pretty happy
expensive,
with that.
though, those delivered meal services.
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
for some people, it's less waste
Easy.
than buying food and having it go off in the fridge. So it can actually, work for you.
Lots of people, when they're trying to lose weight, they want to see immediate
Yeah.
results, and that's what keeps them going. But should they be in a rush to lose it, or is it better to kind of take it slowly?
I kind of think you didn't take 20 weeks to put on 20 kilos, so you can't expect it to come off that quickly. I think you need to be a bit kinder to yourself and realise that life happens. And remember that just because you've set a goal doesn't mean that you're a failure if you don't hit it straight away. So I set the original goal of losing 20 kilos with Superfast Diet, and I lost 13, but then I kind of plateaued because it was Christmas and Easter and holidays. But then I had a medical checkup and I had reversed my type 2 diabetes, and I had my measurements done and I lost 18 centimetres off my waist. So even though the scales hadn't changed, my body had changed. And when you get those sort of results, you realise that 13 kilos is awesome.
Yeah.
So just because I haven't lost that extra 7, I'd still like to, but I'm not going to be mean to myself about it.
So is it, I mean, what have you just focused on? Has it just been the food? Have you had an exercise regime to go alongside this?
For me, it has been, I think a lot of the experts say 80-20. So
Yeah.
it's 80% food,
Yeah.
20% exercise. But I find that when you do exercise, you stay more motivated and you're actually more inclined to
head
stick
too.
to it. It's great for your mental
Yeah.
health, absolutely. And I think for some people, you also need to remember that things like sleep and stress are all going to be affecting your hormones, which affect your weight. So again, look at the whole picture.
I think one of my things when I talk to people who are trying to lose weight is rather than going on a diet, you need to have a lifestyle change, because diets seem like they have like an end date.
Yeah.
Whereas
Absolutely.
if you're going to lose the weight and
Gotta
keep
be
it off, you need to keep going, right?
Absolutely. And psychologists say if you can just make 1 or 2 little changes, they can have a huge impact. So maybe it's that you have 2 sugars in your coffee every day and you cut back to 1, then cut back to none. That's going to actually make a big difference. Or if at 3 o'clock every day you go to the vending machine and get a chocolate, which is what I used to do.
Very tempting.
Look, that all adds up. So if
Yeah.
you just decide to make that little change, it'll be amazing the difference it can make. So it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be that you're cutting out everything all at once.
All right.
Is it good to have like a deadline?
I actually am not huge on a deadline because I think you can set yourself up for failure. But I also think that the whole thing is to be kind to yourself and know that if this is a permanent change, it is a long time. It is a lifestyle change. Therefore, you're not sort of stunt dieting and then going to put it all back on.
Shelley Horton,
Very good tips.
thank you very much. 8:30.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
It's news time now. Here's Jane.